Hey guys, welcome to Februllage. This is my second year doing Februllage, which is a daily collaging prompt challenge. So there's a different prompt for every day of February. So these are the words that we're working with for this video: trees, shell, school, dice, chaos, metal, and neighborhood. So first off, I want to go through. This is like the tray that I kind of collect things that I either like, have started on, or sometimes just stuff that I haven't cataloged yet in my organization system. So why don't we go through here first to see if we can find anything that represents any of these words. Well, I did grab a few images. Nothing really spoke to me other than I don't know. This one fits really well with trees, but I don't know really what to do with it. And then these two fit really well with neighborhood. And I might have some ideas, but nothing concrete. So I'm going to put this stack off to the side. And I do have a few new materials that I have purchased recently that I haven't gone through yet. So I've got a large Life Collector edition. I've got this one. This one mostly has fashion in it, so I doubt this will help with any of the prompts I have today. And then I have a bunch of vintage Reader's Digest. So let's see if I can find anything in here. So let's chat about a few things. I'm starting with trees because that's the first one. And I really didn't know what to do with it until I saw these sheep in a magazine. And then I was like, what if I cut out the heads of the sheep, embed them into one head into each trunk. I even have some little ones for the faraway trees. And then have this coyote kind of stalking the area. So the sheep are kind of hiding amongst the trees, or have become trees or something like that. So I was looking for materials to do that idea, and then I stumbled upon, it's really funny because I stumbled upon this artist, and I was like, okay, so there's a few of these heads with long necks, and I was like, what if I could do something with that, because they kind of mimic the tallness of the tree trunks, right? And then I saw this page, which is essentially exactly what I was planning on doing, kind of mimicking the necks amongst tree trunks. So which one should I do though? I don't know now. I might have to cut everything out and then test both ideas. That might be my only option. So I guess I will get to cutting and be back here in a second. Well, I'm this far with this concept and I'm not super feeling it. I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. So let's see how the other idea looks. Well, I'm stuck. I put these girls on here and it looks interesting, I guess, but also it looks like it's not saying anything. And I don't usually need to have my collages to have any kind of narrative or anything, but I don't know, it should look like something. But it just looks like I glued on some girls with a tree background. It doesn't really have a story. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. What a happy little accident. So when I was moving these away, I took the two big heads off, and then I saw that this woman kind of looks like a mushroom. I was like, wait, the red top mushrooms. What if I make this, add some red mushrooms to it? So I cut some out, and I want to see what they look like with you guys, because I think that would give me that surrealism that I've been looking for. I've got a couple other mushrooms here that I can add if I so choose. What do you guys think? Do I keep it with just the red top mushrooms? Or do I add this guy? I could add him to cover up the hole because this was a calendar photo. But then I feel like it's a little... I think we leave it like this. Do you think I am making the right decision? Okay, while we wait for trees to dry, let us look at what we have for shell. I found this sandcastle that has seashells on it, so like we could do something there. I also found this piece of art, actually both of these, but I was more so looking at this one and wondering if I could cut it out somehow and then put it on a different kind of background, and then what, I don't know. Alternatively, this one I could, ooh, I kind of like where I'm thinking with this one. I was thinking maybe I could cut out some like people that are dancing and have them dancing along the shell and have them just be really small. That could be fun. I also found this one, which has a couple of seashells and coral. So these are photographs of shells, and I think that is all I found for shell. So because I immediately had an idea with this one, let's cut this out and see what happens. As I was looking for the ladies, I saw this one, and she really reminds me of the, what is that art piece? The Venus? I don't know what it's called, something Venus. But what if I put her in the shell and just the two of them, and then find a background? And then I saw this background, and let's see, the shell is just about too big for this piece, which is a little unfortunate, and it a little bit blends in. So I might, if I go this route, I might want to find a different beach picture. Then I saw this one, and I don't think it'll work for this idea because the shell doesn't really fit properly. And I saw this one. And this one I wondered if I put the shell on the towel, could that be kind of interesting somehow? And then put these ladies, put a few of them on the shell or on by the drinks. I'm not sure what that is saying, what it's supposed to be conveying, but it's an idea. So I cut her out, and I found this background, and I think I like this. The colors are just super nice together. And I remembered what that art piece is called. It's called The Birth of Venus. Okay, so I probably would title this something like The Something of Venus. Like, I don't know, The Dance of Venus or something, you know what I mean? To kind of harken back to that original piece. So I like this quite a bit. I'm gonna glue it together. The only issue I have is because I couldn't cut every little bit of her hair out of the white backdrop, it does look a little off. So I was thinking I might color it in with a marker to match her hair or to match the background, something like that. Yeah, I think I might do that. The next word is school. And I've grabbed a few images with no real direction on where I want to go with it. So I've got a bunch of like pencils that look like they're school pencils. I really love this image of these little kids. It really doesn't say school. It says more soccer practice or something. But because they're little kids and I just love the way that it's shot and the lighting and everything, I'd like to use this one, I think. I did find a couple backpacks. I don't know. I think that might be all I found. Oh yeah, and then I also had this girl which I thought I could cut her out and like have her leaning on a school bus or leaning on like like an actual school building. But I couldn't find a school bus or a school building, so I don't really know that I'll use her. And then there's also Sesame Street characters that I could somehow incorporate. It is funny that there are 6 kids and 6 Sesame Street characters, so I'm not really sure if I could work with that or not. But yeah, I think what I want to do is I want to just kind of, I might use the pencil somehow, maybe to like stand them amongst them in the background or something. I don't know if I like that. Let's see, how many pencils do I have? I have 4.5 pencils. I'm not sure if I would like the pencils kind of sticking out in the background. It would depend on what the background is. But for now, I think I want to pursue using these kids. I need to find some kind of backdrop for them, and then at least one other element, whether that's the pencils or something else. And yeah, again, it doesn't really read school so much as it does just generic childhood, but we'll see what we can come up with. So the only thing that's coming up is this idea. If I were to cut out, it would be a pain in the butt, but if I were to cut out some of these more foreground plants to get rid of that background, cut the kids out and put them here and have this solar eclipse behind all of these flowers. The coloring would look really cool. The composition, I think, would be really cool. I think I'm gonna work on finicky cuts to get this out and then the kids out, and then we'll see how it looks and we can change our mind from there. Well, I don't like it, so I'm not really sure where to go from here. I think these guys get lost, and this doesn't showcase the eclipse very well. I just don't like this for some reason. It's not doing it. So we're back to the drawing board for school. Well, I'm switching gears from like a typical school setting to a school of fish. I actually first thought of a school of fish, but I was like, I use fish quite a bit, but I just couldn't find anything to do with like an academic school. So we are gonna go with a school of fish. So I really like this image. I will cut out a bunch of the fish. I'm not sure how many, but it's about what backdrop am I going to put them on. So I've grabbed a few different backdrops that we can look at here. So I've got this one. I thought it would be kind of neat to have the fish in the netting of these ladies. So there's that idea. I don't hate it, but I think there might be better. I've got this one, which is already underwater, so it's not much of a stretch to imagine fish around these faces underwater. I don't know that I love that idea. Then we've got this, which is really cool. It's very juxtaposed, which I like. So I would put the fish in and amongst these frozen trees, which is pretty neat, but I think the background is too light, that when I cut around these, it's just gonna look off, which is kind of why I've been looking for a bluish or darkish background. I really love this image, but I also love how this would look with the fish. I think that would be so cool to have like this castle here. So cool. I just don't know if I want to sacrifice this really cool image, but I do think that's the best bet so far. I also had found this shark image, which I don't think I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use this shark for a different collage. Yeah, I don't think I will use that for this one. And yeah, that was the last one I had. So I think I might just commit to this one, honestly. You guys, this happened to me last year where I got hung up on one word that just threw me off. And this year it is the word school. But I cut out the fish, and I have that and this half. It's all cut out, ready to go. And I think the background I'm gonna go with is this background. So first things first, I need to glue this background together, and then we can start laying on the fish. For dice, I had these two images to work with. I had ideas for both, but I think we're gonna go with this one here. And I came across this image, which I cut out the inside of this cabinet, and I'm going to arrange it somehow and stuff these dice within the scene. So it's gonna look something like that. So the next word is chaos, and I really do not know where I'm gonna go with this prompt. I have like all of this, which is kind of chaotic because there's so many different options of drapes. I have this monkey man, which is chaotic in and of itself. I've got this image of a forest with fireflies. So, I mean, just all the little lines look chaotic. And then I have this shot of, I guess, strange depictions of humans. I don't know about this baby, he's not that strange. He's got some muscles, but whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Is this chaotic? What's chaotic? This I feel like really feels chaotic, but what do I add to it? So I've spent a ton of time cutting out a bunch of these blossoms because I thought maybe pairing these two together kind of gave me, I don't know, German or Dutch kind of vibe to it, maybe? So what I was thinking is having the blossoms that I trimmed out, having them on top of these curtains. And I haven't tried it out, so this is my first time trying it out. And I do feel like it's a bit chaotic. The image itself with all of the blinds or the drapes is chaotic itself, but then you add all of these and then it's, and I just feel like it adds to the chaos, you know? Plus it does kind of have some kind of vibe to it. I'm curious what third element I could add, because I usually don't like to have a collage just be two elements. I like to try and get at least 3 different pictures together. But I'm not really sure what I would add. Like, I suppose maybe I could add some butterflies. That could maybe work well with this. I think this is as low as I've cut. So yeah, what do we think of that? Our next word is metal, and I think I'm gonna go with something that just came to me. I've been wanting to use this fish and this plate for something. I wanted the fish to be chomping on something, and you know what? This car fits the bill. And a car is mostly made out of metal. So I'm gonna cut out the car, cut out the hand, cut out the fish, put it together, find a backdrop, and that'll be metal. And the last word is neighborhood. So these are the few that I have for that. I have these two as starting points. I like both of them, like just trying to slip something in. So I guess it will just depend on what we find. I like these two. I think they look like really quirky neighbors to have. So just to cut them out and put them in here somewhere. And then alternatively, we've got some gnome guys, some Santa figurines, I suppose. and we could always cut these guys out and sporadically put them through the village or the town as well. I don't know which one I want to go with. I think I like this more, but once again, I need to find a third image to round out the collage, you know? And I'm not sure it would fit like perfect in this one, but depending on what my other image will be, it might be better in this one. So yeah, I think we'll put this one aside. We'll cut these guys out, and then we'll look for a third image. So I'm actually gonna switch gears once again from this duo to these guys. I thought it was really funny. I'm gonna have him sit on this house, I think. I'm gonna have this one rollerblading down the street, and then I'm gonna have these two walking down the street up here. So I think this is gonna be fun. Let's put this together. You guys want to see what I came up with for these prompts for the first week of Februllage? The first word was trees, and this is what we came up with. I actually really like this one. This one turned out so well, and I am really happy with it. I think the hat really does reflect the mushroom tops very well, and that like her face and her shirt are all cream colored. Just, it works so well, and I really like this one actually. So we've got that one. For the second prompt, shell, I came up with this kind of like an iteration of the Birth of Venus type of piece, I guess, and I quite like this one as well. This one's got nice colors, everything kind of tied in well together. And I like it. I like it. It's simple, but I like it. The next word was school, and this was the word that threw me so far off. Like, that is why this video is late, because this word, I just couldn't find my footing with it. But I did come up with a school of fish, and I really quite like how this turned out actually. It's it's more of a panoramic piece. But I like it. It's kind of neat. And I like, I don't know, the etherealness of space, but then this school of fish and this astronaut's kind of like taken aback. He was just doing his business in space, and then all of a sudden this school of fish comes around. I don't know, I kind of like it. It's pretty neat. Then the next word was dice, and I came up with this one. This is probably my least favorite of this video. It's just very simple, and I'm not really sure what it says, but it is what it is, and we will move on, I guess. The next word was chaos, and I wanted to do a very chaotic collage, but I still wanted it to like read as something, so I came up with this one. I thought the chaos of it really works, and yet there is some kind of story here. So yeah, I really do like it. Actually, I should trim this off. Let me get my... I just realized I hadn't trimmed it properly on this side. So let's give that a quick trim, just to make sure that it reads cleaner. There we go. So this was the final piece. I added the butterflies, and I liked the butterfly edition actually. So there's only 4 here added, but I did painstakingly cut out all of these blossoms, and I just think it turned out, which is really weird because I wasn't really expecting too much from the chaos prompt, but I like this one. The next one was metal. This one again, I was a bit stumped, but this is what I landed on. So it's some sort of fish having a meal on a vehicle, being served on a platter in the middle of the sea. I don't know. It's more of a goofy one, and I wanted more so to play with like big bold colors and big bold shapes, more so than a story necessarily. I still have some glue here. So yeah, that's kind of where this one came from. But I thought the submarine that has sunk in the ocean here, I thought it kind of reflected maybe the metal aspect of it, like there's metal under the sea, so it's not too far-fetched that there's a car in the sea, you know? I don't know. Not much of a story, more so colors and shapes. But and lastly, neighborhood. This is what I landed on for neighborhood, and I really like this. It's a bit harder to see because the background is quite busy. And then the additions that I put in were fairly detailed, so that lends itself to being a bit more of a busy collage. But when you take a second to like really look at it, I like it. Like these people, you can even tell I have the shoe on like a stairwell from a house, from a porch, so it kind of looks like he's coming off of that porch, and her shoe is covered behind this car, and then this guy, his feet are propped up against these vehicles and also hidden by these houses. And then this one is just cruising along the road here. And I like this one too. So, I don't know. If I were to pick a favorite from this video, it's not going to be these two. Let's see. What have we got? Truly, I think my favorite is the mushroom one, but I do have an appreciation for the rest of these as well. I do quite like them. Let me know which one you would consider your favorite from this week, and I will see you next week for Februllage week 2. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I'm so happy to get back into collaging, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!